A new year means a New Year's event and a new costume Pokemon, and this year it is going to be Jigglypuff with a ribbon? Okay, I mean, this is somebody's jam, and it can be shiny, plus we have some Ultra Beasts making a return, so let's get into the details. Pokemon GO New Year's 2024 event will run from January 1st, 2024 at 10 a.m. until Wednesday, January 3rd at 8 p.m. The only bonuses we're going to be getting for this event are the hatch distance bonuses. So we'll get half hatch during the event, and then if you use the egg hatching widget, which is available on iOS and Android, you will get a quarter hatch distance for your first 3 eggs incubated during the event. There's also going to be some New Year's decor for the overworld, so that's going to be fireworks. I do like when they change up the overworld. Not sure if that's going to happen all through the day or just at night. Either way, these are just nice little festive changes that they put in the game that personally I'd like to see more of, so it's nice to see something for the New Year's event. We're also going to get some research for this event, and that includes field research encounters, and for that we are going to see encounters for Darumaka and rarer encounters for Bronzor, both of which can be shiny. There's also going to be a $1 USD paid research, so more paid research for the new year. And this one is a bit interesting. There will be some event encounters, including that Jigglypuff with the ribbon, Hoot Hoot wearing the New Year's outfit, and Wurmple wearing a party hat. And then there will be some Stardust and XP rewards as well. The interesting part here is the Poke Coins. If it gives 100 coins or more, then it would be worth the ticket price just for the coins, if you're a person who buys coins anyways. If not, then it still might not be worth it to you to pay for the research to get the coins. You might want to just stick to that free-to-play method of getting them from gyms. Also remember that this paid research expires by the end of the event, so that's January 3rd at 8 p.m. You have to both finish all the tasks and claim your rewards by that time. We're also going to get a few wild spawns for this event, not a ton, but we are going to see the new Jigglypuff with a bow, as well as Hoot Hoot with the New Year's outfit, and regular Darumaka and rarer spawns for Bronzor again, all of which can be shiny. However, you might notice that there are no other party hat Pokemon in the wild like we've seen for past New Year's events. They are unfortunately locked in raids, which is not great, but on that note, let's take a look at the raids. So in 1-star raids, we will see Bulbasaur wearing a party hat, Charmander wearing a party hat, Squirtle wearing a party hat, that Hoot Hoot again wearing a New Year's outfit, and Wurmple wearing a party hat. And then in 3-star raids, we're going to see Raticate, Nidorino, Gengar, and Wobbuffet all wearing party hats, all of which can be shiny, including the 1-stars. And then we're going to see the 5-star raids also switch up. This isn't necessarily for the event, it's just that they're switching on January 1st. They will go until January 10th, so they go longer than the event, and we are going to see the Ultra Beasts making a return. However, which 5-star raid boss you see will depend on where in the world you are. So if you're in the Americas, you're going to get Buzzwole. If you're in Asia Pacific, you'll get Xurkitree. And then in Europe and Africa, you're going to see Pheromosa. We're going to see the Mega Raid boss switch up. Again, not really for the event. It just happens to coincide with the beginning of the event. And we're going to see Mega Ampharos. So if you got a good shiny Mareep or just a good Mareep in general during either of the calm days and you're missing Mega Energy to Mega Evolve it, this will be your time to get it. There's also going to be 7-kilometer eggs for the event. So those are the ones that you get from opening up gifts. There's really only one New Year's Pokemon in here, and that is Pichu wearing a party hat. And then we'll also see Cleffa, Igglybuff, Togepi, Tyro, Smoochum, Elekid, Magby, Azurill, and Wynot in those eggs. Again, everything here can be shiny, but eggs are an expensive way to get shinies. There's also going to be a new avatar item in the shop, and that is a Darumaka hat. There's also going to be a 99 Pokecoin bundle that will get you an incubator and 1 premium battle pass. That isn't a terrible deal if you want both of these items anyways. For battle passes, I think of cost in terms of the 3 battle passes. So when you buy them in 3s, they are worth 83 coins each. And then you have that incubator, which is worth 150 coins. So that's a 233 coin value for basically 100 Pokecoins. So it's just over 50% off. If you want both items, not a bad deal. All right, next up, let's talk about some meta relevancy here. We do have those Gen 1 starters again in raids. So Charizard does have 2 Megas in the game. Mega Charizard Y, which with its Blast Burn Legacy move is the #1 fire type attacker. And then there's Mega Charizard X, which does need another legacy move, Dragon Breath, but it's honestly outclassed as a dragon type raid attacker, coming in at number 16. Next up, we have Squirtle with the party hat in the 1-star raids, which does evolve into Blastoise, which again has a Mega in the game. You need a legacy move to make full use of it. Next up, we have Venusaur, which evolves from Bulbasaur. It is the number 3 grass type attacker in its Mega form. Now, Mega Sceptile is a better option, so you just need one to Mega Evolve to get a Dex entry. And then in those 3-star raids, we have Gengar. Now, Gengar also has a Mega in the game. Unfortunately, he's not super useful due to his typing. That Poison subtyping really holds him back, especially against Psychic type. types. However, his Mega is the best ghost type raid attacker in the game, with stats of 349 for attack, 199 for defense, 155 for stamina, and a max CP of 4,902. And then regular Gengar still does rank as the 9th best ghost type attacker, thanks largely to his high attack stat and access to all the best ghost type moves, giving him very high DPS. However, he is the definition of a glass cannon, so making use of dodging against raid bosses is a good strategy for Gengar. And a little bonus here, there is no legacy moves required for him in PvE. Now in terms of PvP, both Haunter and Gengar can be run in the Ultra League to similar effect. So regular Gengar has an attack of 261, defense of 149, stamina of 155, and a max CP of 3,254. You do need the legacy move Shadow Punch for the optimal moveset in PvP though, and because of his fragile nature, shields are needed for most matchups, especially against psychic types. Now what Gengar is really good for is baiting shields and then coming in with that nuke afterwards. So that Shadow Claw move is the top fast move for energy gain and damage output, and then Shadow Punch is the bait move at only 35 energy, and Shadow Ball is that big nuke move. Next up we'll have Mega Ampharos in the Mega Raid, so obviously then Ampharos has a Mega in the game. It is also a decent electric type raid attacker, coming in at number 8. Mega Ampharos has an attack of 294, a defense of 203, a stamina of 207, and a max CP of 4,799. Now in terms of electric Megas, Mega Manectric is better, ranking at number 4. So if you've got a good Manectric, that's probably what you're going to Mega going into raids where you need an electric type attacker. However, you want to get at least one Ampharos for the Dex entry if you don't have it. When you Mega Evolve it, it does also have that Dragon subtyping. However, there are many other better options for Dragon type raid attackers. Mega Ampharos just really doesn't stack up against them. Now in terms of PvP, Ampharos is a nice spice pick for Ultra League. It doesn't rank that high, but its move pool is pretty diverse, which can add a lot of coverage to your team. So that usual moveset for Ultra League is Volt Switch, Brutal Swing, and Trailblaze. All right, let's talk about those eggs really quickly because there is some meta-relevant stuff in there, and then we'll move on to the Ultra Beast, but let's look at the eggs first. We do have Wynot in there, which is a Little League staple, ranking number 7 overall in the meta on PvPoke. There's also Togepi in there, which evolves into Togekiss, which is a good fairy type attacker. It is one of my favorite fairy evolution lines, so I have a bit of a bias there, but it is a solid dragon type attacker with its double resistance against dragon moves. Next up we have Elekid, which evolves into Electivire, which is a solid budget type electric attacker. Then we have Azurill in the eggs, which evolves into Azumarill, which is a Great League staple, ranking at number 14 in the overall meta, and a decent gym defender as well. He tops out at just barely over 1500 CP though, so it's not useful much beyond that. Remember to double move any of the baby Pokemon that you get from eggs before you evolve them, because it costs far less dust and candy to give them that second charge move when they're in baby form. Let's look at the Ultra Beast now. In Americas, we are going to have Buzzwole, and Buzzwole is of course the most ultra looking of the Ultra Beasts and has the stats of 236 for attack, 196 for defense, 216 for stamina, and a max CP of 3,912. Now the problem is his moveset is mainly PvP focused with those buffs and debuffs, and he just isn't great as a bug or fighting type raid attacker. There are definitely better options that are far easier to get candy for, and he doesn't even have a bug fast move, so definitely not a great bug type raid attacker. Now in terms of PvP, you can run him in any league. However, to get a low enough CP for Great League, or to get the best PvP IVs for either Great League or Ultra League, you'll have to do that through trading, and preferably trading with a low level friend, because that lowers the IV floor from the trade. So if you're not aware, in Ultra League and Great League, you want low attack, high defense, high stamina. This basically just makes your Pokemon bulkier. Now the moveset that's most common for Buzzwole in PvP is that counter fast move, and then for the second charge move, you're usually picking between that self-debuffing superpower or the buffing power-up punch or felt stinger. All right, next up we have Pheromosa, which is the exact same typing as Buzzwole, so it's that bug fighting type. Now it does fare better as a bug type raid attacker, ranking number 4 with a pretty big attack stat of 316. However, it kind of falls apart from there with a defense of only 85, decent stamina of 174, and a max CP of 3,213. Unfortunately, bug type attackers are not commonly needed, and as a fighting type attacker, it's even worse than Buzzwole. In terms of PvP, no, never. Did you see that defense stat? This thing goes down with just a handful of Air Slash or Charm fast attacks. It's brutal. Just don't use it. trust me. And then finally we have Xurkitree. Now Xurkitree is where it's at in terms of these 3 Ultra Beasts. It is a fantastic electric type raid attacker. Number 3 overall after Shadow, Raikou, and Zekrom. Now it doesn't have its ideal moveset, so a future update might make it even stronger, but even still it's an impressive electric specimen due to its supercharged attack stat of 330, and then a defense stat of 144, stamina of 195, and a max CP of 4,451. So yeah, a great electric type raid attacker. However, in terms of PvP, it does rank highest in the Master League, but it doesn't really see a lot of wins there, so not super effective, not really something you have to have. But if you do want to run it in the Master League, just give it its best electric moves, and then add Dazzling Gleam, and it's PvP ready. All right, that's it for Meta-Relevancy. Let's move on to a few tips for raid bosses. Now, as I mentioned, Xurkitree is unfortunately only going to be out in Asia Pacific, so if you're there, lucky you. If not, you're going to have to do some remote raids to get it. If you don't have any friends in the Asia Pacific region, what you can do is use something like the Pokegenie app or Discord or Facebook raid groups to be able to find remote raids, get invites that way. And if you're doing remote raids for that, you're definitely going to want to mega something to maximize those candy gains. So you're going to want to go with whichever electric mega you have at the highest level. So that would either be Mega Ampharos or Mega Manectric or Primal Kyogre if you have one that's at a higher primal level than any of those megas, because it also boosts candy gains for electric types. All right, now let's take a look at some of the top counters for Xurkitree. Now there will be some primals and megas in here. However, I would definitely go with a primal or a mega to get more candies if possible. The only way I would go with something that's not going to get any more candies is if I didn't have enough people to take down Xurk without primaling or mega something. Now Xurkitree is a pure electric type, which means those ground types are its only weakness. So this includes things like primal or regular Groudon, shadow or regular Excadrill, mega, shadow or regular Garchomp, shadow or regular Mamoswine, shadow or regular Rhyperior, and Landorus in Therian or incarnate form. And of course you want them all to have ground type moves. Now if you still need others to fill up your party, just go with whatever Pokemon you have at the highest level that have good ground type moves, and that will give you the best chance at taking down Xurkitree. And remember to avoid any that are flying or water type, as they are going to take super effective damage from Xurkitree with those electric type moves. Now Buzzwole and Pheromosa are both bug and fighting, which means they each have a double weakness to those flying attacks, so definitely go with whichever Pokemon you have at the highest CP level who have good flying attacks. Some options for that include Mega or regular Rayquaza, Shadow or regular Moltres, Shadow or regular Ho-Oh, Yveltal, Shadow or regular Staraptor, Mega Pidgeot or Unova, or Hisuian Braviary. Now, if you don't need a Mega or a Primal to take them down, then you'll definitely want to go with something to get the most candies for them. And again, they are the same typing, so the same Megas apply. And your options for that include Mega Beedrill, Mega Pinsir, Mega Caesar, Mega Blaziken, Mega Medicham, or Mega Lopunny. All right, everybody, that's all my info and tips for you for this video. I hope you all had a good holiday. I hope you have a happy new year. This will be the last video before the new year. However, I'm going to have 2 final Shiny Hunt live streams before 2023 ends. So if you want to come by and check those out, it'd be wonderful to have you along. If you found this video useful, hit the like button. It helps me reach a wider audience. Subscribe for more Pokemon Go news, tips, and live streams. Happy hunting, happy new year, and we'll see you in the next one, friends.
Power to the people. Power to the people. Power to the people. I've got something incredibly funky.